Good evening, and welcome to Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, I wanted to get on here April 2nd of 2025, and I wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct that took place earlier today, with the main focus being on the Nintendo Switch 2. And they had a whole 60-minute showcase surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2. And they did talk about, features and also a couple of games as well. Very, very interesting stuff. So I wanted to get on here and just kind of give my thoughts on it. And I'll be honest, I have never gotten a console on launch day. This might end up being my first. Of course, if I'm able to lock one down. But yeah. Had an hour-long presentation on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I kind of wanted to go over some of the features and information for this console. So, of course, they started off the showcase with Mario Kart World, which looked absolutely fantastic. And not only that, they're actually going to be doing a Nintendo Direct later on in the month specifically for Mario Kart World. So, I believe that will be April 17th. I think I remember I'm saying April 17th. So, not only that, Mario Kart World will be a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2. So, definitely, that's quite a way to start things off. And, I definitely believe that this will be a huge seller, quite a way to get this console started, considering Mario Kart 8, still, I believe to this day, one of the top selling Switch games ever, which originally Mario Kart 8 debuted on the Wii U, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, a lot of history there. But this will be an exclusive launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. The neat thing about this is a Mario Kart game where folks can go off-road and pretty much drive anywhere in the game. There's not only just races, but you can literally tour the entire Mario Kart world. So it's like road trip style almost. So it's kind of cool. It's actually a very neat concept. Not to mention, I believe they said races could hold up to 24 players. Not only that, you can also sync up with your friends and pretty much ride together through the different worlds of Mario Kart World. So it looks really cool. They still are doing the Grand Prix mode and everything like that with the different championship cups, but also being able to just free roam or free drive, free ride, whatever you want to call it. I think it's really neat. So that's quite a way to start off the showcase for this Nintendo Direct. So to kind of do a quick roundup of the main features that this Nintendo Switch 2 will have. So I'll do just a quick rundown and then I'll kind of go into a little more detail. But as far as the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, it's got a 7.9-inch screen. It can run up to 120 frames per second. It's going to have HDR support. The SL and SR buttons are bigger. The Joy-Cons will not only be magnetic for how they connect to the Switch, but they can also use mouse controls, so you can use them like a mouse, like a PC mouse. Um, Built-in noise canceling microphone, which I thought was really cool. It's got two USB-C ports for attachments and for charging. The internal storage, the support has been bumped up from the initial 32 gigabytes in the Switch all the way to 256 gigabytes of internal storage. So 8 times more. It's pretty big, really, really big. The dock also has cooling. Has cooling to keep the Switch 2 cool. Backwards compatibility. So I mean, a lot of main features for this console. That's pretty neat. Oh yeah. So on the Joy-Con, under the home button, they added a C button. So the C button pretty much is for their newest feature, Game Chat. So Game Chat, which they had a really nice breakdown of how Game Chat works, which I'll go into in a little bit. But the C button on the Joy-Con is for Game Chat, which I thought it's really cool. But it's got the built-in microphone that has the noise canceling for background noise. Game Chat is going to have to require a Nintendo Switch membership, but for a limited time, which I believe they said for, I want to say it was half a year or something like that, that probably less, that the function will be free for limited time. But at some point, you're going to have the Nintendo Switch membership in order to keep it, in order to keep that feature. So the Switch 2 with the voice chat and all. So the C button for Game Chat, up to 4 people can link together via voice chat and play together. And you can also do screen sharing as well. If everybody's playing a different game, you can screen share, what you're playing. And, it comes in handy for if, you're partied up and you're stuck somewhere, like let's say you're playing, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, and you're stuck somewhere, you can screen share and, others can see and can help you out. So things like that. But it's pretty neat. If you have the Nintendo Switch 2 camera hooked up, then each player, their face can appear on the screen as well. I think in the corner of the screen during screen share. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I definitely like what they showed from the Game Chat feature. And, I can definitely see how it's going to make multiplayer games, especially like with Mario Party and even Mario Kart and later multiplayer games, add that extra element of fun with Game Chat and also being able to have your face in the game through the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. So I think that's pretty neat. I think that's really neat. And then just kind of going back to Mario Kart World, since they did start the showcase off with that. So apparently it's gonna release at $80. Oof. Dang. Well, I guess that just goes to show that perhaps by default Nintendo Switch 2 games will be $80 or more by the default. So, oof. That's quite a price increase over typical Nintendo Switch games. But like I said, they are doing a Nintendo Direct on April 17th, specifically for Mario Kart World. But yeah, supports up to 24 racers, new vehicles, and players can grind on rails and flip across walls. I thought that was pretty cool. They did showcase a bunch of that. Um, Also, they're going to have weather conditions and time of day changes, the effect with the weather conditions, which I think adds a nice little element to the gameplay. Also, with it being exclusively on Switch 2, looks like it will not be backwards compatible for the regular Switch or Switch OLED. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I figured there's still going to be a lot of games out there. While backwards compatibility, will probably cover a good bit, it just goes to show that there are going to be some Switch 2 exclusive titles that you have to have a Switch 2 in order to play. So this looks like it's going to be one of them with Mario Kart World. But yeah, they also had the Grand Prix mode, and then they got Knockout Tour, which the Knockout Tour is where they drive pretty much all over the world with checkpoints, and they have to place in a certain ranking in order to continue on. And if they don't make the quota, they don't make the top 10 or top 50 or whatever, then they're eliminated. So it's a pretty neat mode. It's a pretty neat idea. I like the concept. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll definitely be fun. But that's quite a way to start off the showcase. They did also talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 camera as well, which is one of the first main accessories that they talked about. They didn't really say any sort of details or technical specifications for this Nintendo Switch 2 camera, but it uses a USB-C connection, and being that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have two USB-C ports, I believe one on the bottom and one on the top of the console, all you have to do is plug it in, and you're pretty much set. Not only that, it'll allow you and your friends to join web chats. And then there's in-game features that, the camera can be used for. And one of the things that it could be used for, one of the games that they did showcase was Mario Party Jamboree. So that's pretty neat. And, there's going to be more. And like I said, they did specify that with this to be used for game chat, you got to have a Nintendo Switch membership, but there will be that free period where you don't have to have it, but only for a certain amount of time. So that's the only thing. And apparently they did mention that some third-party USB-C cameras may be compatible with the Switch 2. They're going to have a test USB camera feature with this console in the system settings to see if it can be supported. So if you already have a USB-C camera, like webcam or something like that, try it out. Use the test USB camera. If it works, hey, bam, you just saved yourself some money and don't have to get the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. So there is that. So, I mean, that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. You have the opportunity to save some time and money. Let's see. And that Nintendo Switch 2 camera will release the same day as the Nintendo Switch 2. So the screen specs. So, Nintendo Switch 2 uses a LCD screen, which is 1080p that supports 120 frames per second, up to 120 frames per second, and offers HDR support. Now, let's see. But yeah, let's break it down. So, magnetic connecting Joy-Cons. So, 120 frames per second and supported titles when not in 4K. 4K resolution when docked. And I believe when docked in 4K, it can support up to 60 frames per second in the 4K resolution. But yeah, bigger LCD screen, 7.9 inches, but the same thickness as the original Switch. But yeah, 1080p in handheld mode. Comes with a adjustable kickstand, 2 USB-C ports, one on the top, one on the bottom. Can run at 4K when docked. That's a fixed 60 frames per second. But when not running in 4K, there will be certain titles that can support up to 120 frames per second with a variable refresh rate. And the dock has a built-in cooling fan to help keep the console cool while it's docked. So I think that's pretty neat. Magnetic connecting Joy-Con controllers, which apparently has a release on the back to detach the controllers. They have bigger control sticks and SL and SR buttons, which is supposed to make it easier for when you're using the Joy-Con separately, with the buttons and the sticks being bigger. It's supposed to be easy to use. My big thing with this is I hope that stick drift won't be a thing. Hopefully they did some extra work developing this console and really on these Joy-Cons to prevent stick drift. So that's what I'm hoping. Because that was quite an issue with the Switch and even the Switch OLED. I know I've had to replace, one or two pairs of Joy-Cons because of that. So hopefully stick drift won't be a big issue. Here's hoping. Let's see. The Joy-Cons have mouse support, which you can use the Joy-Con 2s like a PC mice, for specific games. They talked about the microphone, built-in mic, noise canceling mic, improved speakers to make better use of the console's game chat. And like I said, storage has gone from 32 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. The SSD will also read and write data faster than the original Switch's SSD. So, pretty neat. Also, they talked about there will be certain games that will get an upgrade to a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Games like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, games like I believe there's some other games getting that. I think the Kirby Forgotten Land is getting an upgrade. But yeah, there's got to be some games that'll be getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade, which thankfully if you already have those games, then all you have to do is pay for an upgrade pack. So I don't know how much, I don't think they went into detail on how much upgrade packs will be, but I assume they would be at least half of the price if you were to, get the game on Switch 2. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, and I'm hoping the upgrade pack isn't that much. Like at least half off or more. Half off or more. Or half off or less. But yeah. So pretty neat there. Let's see. Oh, and for for the Switch games, for the game carts. So they're going to be definitely easy to distinguish from. So the Nintendo Switch game carts are black. The Nintendo Switch 2 game carts will be red. So that's how you can tell the difference, which is which. The Switch 2 physical game cart will be the same size. Same size, just the different colors to differentiate them. The red game carts, the Nintendo Switch 2 carts, they'll have faster read speeds, and you can also increase storage capacity. But here's the thing. Only micro SD cards will work with the system. So you have to use micro SD cards in order to add, upgrade the storage. So, but yeah, faster game cards with the Switch 2 game cards. But yes. So you're gonna need micro SD express cards. Those are the only cards you can use to for the Switch 2. But yeah, and the reasoning for that is to help with the high-speed data transfers. So, but I mean, to be honest, 256 gigabytes of storage, that's a decent size. With my Switch OLED, I got a good number of games, and I don't think I've come close to maxing out 32 gigabytes of storage. But then again, I do have an extra SD card of storage in mine, so then again, I can't say too much. But the Switch 2, Nintendo says, will offer a system transfer feature, which will allow you to move your Switch 1 data, including save files and digital titles, to the new console. So at least that's a good thing to do. If you wanted to, get rid of your previous console, you get the Nintendo Switch 2. You do the system transfer, and then bam, you're set. Let's see. But yeah, so at least it looks like they are gonna make it simple for you to transfer your data from your Switch to the Switch 2. So at least that's good to know. At least that's good to know. So pretty neat there. Let's see. Game Share. Game Share will be one of the new features on Switch 2. And actually, I believe it'll also be able to support the regular Switch as well. So Game Share. Players will be able to join up and play together locally using just one copy of a compatible game. Even titles that require multiple screens can be played if one player owns a compatible game. So that's the requirement. At least one player has to own the game. Game Share will be functional across systems, meaning you can join up with local friends whether you own a Switch 2 or its predecessor, the regular Switch. So either or. Game Share also supports the new Game Chat feature, which allows players to communicate via voice chat. The feature is launched by the new C button, which I guess... See, that's another thing. If somebody's using the regular Switch, then they're probably going to have to use a headset, being that the regular Switch doesn't have that C button. So I think that's the only thing. So, let's see. Example games that are coming to Game Share are Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker, Super Mario 3D World, Clubhouse Games, Super Mario Odyssey, Big Brain Academy. So Game Share can only be used with compatible titles and will be rolled out via software updates in the future. So, as time passes, more software updates, meaning more compatible games. GameShare is also planned for a select number of games exclusive to the Switch 2, which means that only Switch 2 consoles would be able to game share that particular game for Switch 2. So, there's that. So, game share, pretty neat. Let's see. They also discussed Switch 2 Pro Controller. That's right. Switch 2 is getting its own Pro Controller and has remappable buttons on the back of the controller. So, it's also going to launch same day as the Switch 2. It'll have the C button, and it'll have the 2 back buttons, which the back buttons are located, let's see, pretty much they're right along the back. Let's see. Just using the Xbox controller, for example. Just using this for example. So, the buttons would be here. Because, I mean, this pretty much looks like a Pro controller for Nintendo. It's just, like I said, it's an Xbox controller, but just using it as an example. But, let's see. It's also going to have a headphone jack, which the previous Switch Pro controller did not have. But aside from that, and the extra buttons and whatnot, it's pretty much same design. Let's see. They didn't post any information on Switch 2 Pro controller pricing, but I'm sure, as it gets closer to the launch date, they'll have information on that. Let's see. Data transfer, yeah, talked about that, which you do the system transfer for save data digital games and such. Let's talk about some of the games. So, they had this one game. Well, I guess it's not really a game. Well, I guess technically there is. There's going to be a digital-only game called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour that pretty much can get folks up to speed on how to use the Nintendo Switch 2 and pretty much showcases all of its features. You pretty much check out the features of the Switch 2, and there's going to have some mini games that kind of help you to get immersed with the features of the Switch 2. So, hopefully that doesn't cost no freaking $80. If that costs $80, then we got a problem. So some of the games, Switch 2 upgrades for some of the games. Both Zeldas, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, will be getting Nintendo Switch 2 editions. So they'll be enhanced to include HDR support, higher resolutions and frame rates and stuff like that. So, not only that, Nintendo Switch 2 will get more upgraded original Switch games, including Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends. Of course, not surprised there. I figured there would be a handful of games that would be showcased of what would be getting new features. But, like I said, in order to get those upgrades, you got to pay for the upgrade pack. Like I said, I'm just hoping that the cost for the upgrade pack isn't equivalent to a full price game. I really hope it's not. But yeah, many Switch games will get upgraded versions, and some of them might inherit like the mouse controls and the game chatting, uh, visuals, and even new content. So yeah, Pokemon Legends Z through A, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Apparently, we'll get new levels. That'll get new levels. Metroid Prime 4 will get new visual. We'll have the 4K visuals and 60 frames per second when docked. Pokemon will have a higher resolution and frame rate. And apparently, both Zeldas will get technical upgrades, and they'll get their own smartphone app, which you can use as a guide to get through the game. Tips. I think it gives you a map and a compass, like all sorts of features in that smartphone app. The game they really showcased quite a bit was Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is getting a good number of extras with the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, such as being able to play mini games with the mouse controls, the audio recognition, the camera peripheral, with the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. Games where you can control the car using the microphone, spray paint with the Joy-Con mouse control, like a whole bunch of different things that you can do. They had a Bowser Live mode, a Carnival Coaster mode. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I will say that. It's pretty neat. But like I said, upgrade pack. Gotta pay the upgrade pack in order to get those extra features. So we'll see how that goes. Like, I'm sure we'll get more information as it gets closer to the launch date. They also did showcase a couple of games, a couple of like new games and whatnot. Like, they showcased Dragon Drive, which was actually kind of cool. It's I believe it's a 3-on-3 basketball game that uses the Switch 2 mouse controls for the gameplay, and you can like shoot. Like, it's pretty neat. It's actually pretty neat. A new Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which is scheduled to arrive winter of this year, 2025. So there's that. And apparently it's a prequel to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, it's a prequel. It's pretty neat. Switch Online is getting an upgrade as well, as the GameCube library will be added to the Nintendo Classic Switch Online library. So yeah, it's pretty big. Pretty big. I was talking to a friend of mine / coworker, and he's never had a GameCube. So he's actually very excited for this feature, and they named a handful of upcoming titles. So you got the first batch, which will include Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX, and one of my favorite Zeldas, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So those will be the first batch. And then upcoming titles, Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, one of my favorite Fire Emblem games, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, the first Luigi's Mansion. So, yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat there. But like I said, it's part of the Switch Online subscription service, so gotta be subscribed to that. But I mean, hey, if you're on the family subscription, then, each of y'all will have access to that. Like, I'm on a family subscription, so, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. They even did a Switch to Nintendo GameCube controller. So that'll be on the My Nintendo store same day as the Nintendo Switch 2. But yeah, looks just like a Nintendo GameCube controller. but it has the C button and, you know, the features that a, you know, Nintendo Switch 2 controller would have. So that's neat. They also talked about a whole bunch of third-party games that are going to be that are confirmed for the Switch 2. And it's quite a list. It's quite a list. So on launch day, according to this list, on launch day, Deltarune chapters 1 through 4, Fast Fusion, Survival Kids, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and Split Fiction. You know, Split Fiction, which I heard got a lot of good reviews. And then later this year, they're going to do support for Borderlands 4, Hades 2, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Edition, Civilization 7, EA Sports FC 25, Madden NFL 25, WWE 2K25, NBA 2K25, 2 Point Museum, Witchbrook, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Wild Hearts S, Ridge Racer, Enter the Gungeon 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Fortnite, Tamagotchi Plaza, Street Fighter 6, Hitman World of Assassination, Project 007, and in 2026, Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. So, quite a handful of third-party titles there. They also announced some brand new games for Switch 2. The Duskbloods. They showed a trailer on the Duskbloods, and it will be exclusive to Switch 2. Let's see. Kirby Air Riders, which I believe is also exclusive Switch 2. Look pretty neat. And it's a sequel to the GameCube Kirby Air Ride. Let's see. It was confirmed for a 2025 release. And then they showed off Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I thought was pretty neat. It kind of reminds me of perhaps like Kirby and the Forgotten Land or even Super Mario Odyssey, but pretty much you're playing as Donkey Kong for this. So I thought it was pretty cool. But it looks like a 3D platformer. But yeah, new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, which has a release date of July 17th. So it'll come out this year, but July 17th. It's interesting because you can smash through the level. You know, your Donkey Kong, you can literally like smash through like the level. You can like smash and go underground and just... It looked pretty neat. It looked pretty wild. So definitely, you know, a game I'm interested in for sure. But yeah. And then, of course, got to talk about the price. So, first off, the release date. And to be honest, I was very shocked at the announced release date, because I honestly thought that this was going to come out much later this year. But the Nintendo Switch 2 has a release date of June 5th of this year, 2025. That's kind of a shock. June 5th of this year. I did not expect it to be announced for this early. Yeah. So, June 5th. And the price point. Nintendo Switch 2 is priced at $450. So, $450. So, they got two. You have the console-only bundle, which is $450. Or you can get the Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart World included, which will make it $500. So $450 console alone, and then $500 for the console plus Mario Kart World. And like I said, I assume a lot of folks are going to really be going in hard for that Mario Kart World bundle, because I mean that seems to be the only game bundle, game like console with game bundle that they're offering on launch, unless some more information comes out between now and June 5th. But to be honest, not surprised, not that surprised with the price point. I figured it was gonna be between 400 and 500 bucks, just because I expected this to, push graphics a little bit harder and just have, more features with the hardware and such. So, 450, not surprised. Not surprised at all. But yeah, June 5th. And like I said, don't forget that April 17th, they're going to do a Mario Kart World exclusive Nintendo Direct. So, got that to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, overall, it looks neat. The Nintendo Switch 2, it looks neat. I like what I saw, especially with the hardware features and whatnot. I mean, they could have showed more Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive game reveals. I wish they could have done that, but you never know. They might do that in another Nintendo Direct before the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So, there's hope. There's still hope that that could happen. But I would have liked to have seen them, reveal a couple of more Switch 2 exclusives. Now, the backwards compatibility is still going to be kind of up in the air as far as, once we get an idea of more and more games that will be supported, and then get an idea of games that will be getting that Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade, which I think is just going to pile up more and more as time passes. So, many could ask, is that really backwards compatibility? It's a fair argument. It's a fair argument. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And the word is that pre-orders will become available April 9th, which is next week. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, I may try to go ahead and pre-order one at that time, but yeah. But overall, pretty nice showcase. Like I said, they spent an hour specifically on Switch 2. So, hey, I like what I saw. I like what I saw. But yeah, June 5th is the release date for Nintendo Switch 2. So, hey, get hyped. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I have. Definitely let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did y'all think about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct? What do you think about the console? Are you interested in getting one? Do you see yourself getting one for launch day? What do you think about the features, the games? Let me know your overall thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, my name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Laters.